Well, good afternoon, John.
Hello, Ben.
How are you this afternoon?
Tired?
Yeah, I'm a bit tired as well, but yeah, I was also very bored, and I've been looking over Twitter all day and looking at the shit show that is just the Twitter world, and I was thinking to myself, should we just have a look at some of this, have a laugh, and people, if they come and watch the show as well, can come and comment, and not just comment, but give us Twitter threads where people are losing their minds, going mad, going crazy, going mental about any situation. But it's quite a day on Twitter.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's quite a day any day on Twitter, John.
Is it? So what's happened? What's caught your attention?
Well, what's caught my attention is this whole leadership race. This Boris has crossed 100 threshold, but maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Who knows? But the reeing over Boris Johnson potentially becoming prime minister.
The what?
Ree!
What does that mean?
People screeching about it.
Oh, right, okay.
It's called the reeing. Don't you keep up with the internet? You're an internet commentator, and you don't
Never
keep up
heard-
with the internet times.
I've never heard that expression ever in my life before.
Well, that's very interesting. Anyway, have a little spooky intro before we get into this. Here we go. Right. Let me just check, double check, triple check. Did it bring your audio back this time, John?
Hello.
Yes, it did. Oh my god, it worked. It worked! So, I find us, here we are, looking at Twitter. And we're just going to look through some Twitter threads. We're going to have a laugh about people's responses here. Shall we start with our good friend Sophie Corcoran?
What's going on with your camera? It looks like you've got breasts.
What? These nipples?
No, it was the way it was the way you were sitting, and you've got the fan on, haven't you?
Yeah.
It was making your shirt vibrate as if your breasts were juggling. Your large and fulsome breasts.
I don't know whether to be insulted or feel flattered at that remark there, John. I'm just not sure.
It was just a bit off-putting.
So let's have a look at a little tweet thread here from Sophie Corcoran.
What's she saying?
Well, she's asking, who are you backing, Boris or Sunak? And,
It doesn't matter who we back.
nope.
It all depends on who the members get to vote for.
Yeah, it does. It does. It all depends on who the members get to vote for, or if the members even get to vote.
Right, okay, well, I've seen a couple of things. One is that apparently there will be thousands of members that they can't get to vote because the party doesn't have email addresses for them, so they'll be excluded.
They're old people, aren't they?
Yeah, who would probably vote for
Boris. Well, maybe, or maybe they'll vote for Rishi because they want stability. Remember, basically, he's going on the strong and stable Theresa May type of line here.
That worked well the last time.
Strong and stable leadership, John. Strong and stable. Look at Lewis here. He says, has to be Penny Mordaunt. A fresh start so we can actually move forward from this mess.
Is she going to reach the 100?
No.
Well, if she doesn't reach the 100, it's a moot point then.
Yeah, she's not even going to make it past 30 by the looks of it.
Forget Penny then.
I mean, the legend says it all here. Both WEF C words.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it dispassionately, which I am, because I have no love for government in any form,
Yeah.
particularly a communist one under Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
Because let's face it would not be a conservative government under Sunak. It would be a communist one. And who would have thought the Conservatives would be the ones to bring in communism? Who would have thought that?
I know, right? It's very interesting, that.
I know. But anyway, looking at it dispassionately, as if you were a Conservative member or a Conservative MP, you would look at this and you would go, well, the last poll we had, 33% of the people who voted supported Boris.
Yeah.
21% or something like that of the people who voted supported Sunak. Right. So, what's the point? What's the point in supporting Sunak?
Well,
and then when it comes to a general election, there is no way you're going to get your party re-elected with that clown Sunak in charge.
No, you know what? I think you're absolutely right. There is no way that you're going to get elected with that clown Sunak in charge. But then there might not even be a way that you get elected with Boris Johnson in charge. But I think the members speak for themselves when they're all over Sky News and BBC News saying, you know, give the man a chance. We gave him a mandate. All of that. Whilst I may not agree with them. Charles says, is there an anybody but Rishi option here?
Well, see, that's the... I mean, initially when this started, I said from word go, right, you know, the first leadership election, I said, it doesn't matter who runs up against Sunak, the other person will win.
Yeah.
And at that point, I thought it was going to be Penny, but obviously I was wrong. It turned out to be Liz. But the whole crux of the thing was that no matter who went against Sunak, the other person was going to win because Sunak was not that popular. So why is he popular now? I mean, he's still done the same thing. And apparently he might even be the one behind the coup, you know, and not Hunt. It might have been Sunak that's manipulating. He thinks he's Machiavelli, doesn't he? He thinks he's sitting behind the scenes and nobody sees him and he's manipulating everyone. It's so transparent, you know? He's so transparent. He's such a fucking communist that, you know, if you vote for Sunak and you think Sunak's going to do anything for this country, then you're off your trolley. You really are.
No, someone here just simply says, "Is this really happening?"
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? And here we are sitting talking about the Conservative Party bringing in communism by the back door.
I know.
It's just incredible. How do we get to this situation?
I mean, what people need to remember is Rishi Sunak's family are involved with the Chinese social credit system. They're involved very heavily with these authoritarian measures. He's profiting, with his family at least, are definitely profiting from this tyranny that's being inflicted upon the Chinese people. And do you not think with his wife being somebody who goes on Chinese state television... No, that's Jeremy Hunt's wife.
No, that's Jeremy Hunt.
My apologies.
Right. So the problem you've got, though, is you've got two people right, who are affiliated to China.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Sunak and Hunt. And let's face it, if Sunak gets in, there's no reason for Hunt not to stay as Chancellor.
Well, first of all, you're absolutely right there. But second of all, the fact that Sunak's family have direct involvement with the Chinese credit system, and Jeremy Hunt's wife goes on Chinese state television and essentially demands they obey the CCP. This should be terrifying, because a team like that does not have your best interests at heart.
See, I've got to ask, what the hell is MI5 doing, right? Because they should be investigating these people and finding out what the hell's going on. Because there's no way these people should be running the country. No,
you're absolutely right.
They shouldn't be near a fucking ice cream vendor's truck.
No, you're right.
You know, they should be excluded from our society because China... I mean, China's a shit show. And if you start following China, you're going to end up in the same kind of problems we had 2 years ago. Because that's the last time we followed China, and look what happened. We ruined our economy. We had put thousands of people out of work. We ruined hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of businesses. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. And that's because we copied China, who are screwballs, and who like locking people up anyway, including former prime ministers by the looks of things.
Well, it's former leaders, isn't it? Former leaders of the CCP.
Come on, yeah. What happened? Did he shart or something, and she took offence to the smell?
I don't know.
What?
I'll find the video in a minute. But we're looking through this thread still, and look, it's simply look at all these idiots here. Starmer, Neva, Starmer, general election, Starmer, 50-50 so far, Neva. 51 backers only. Johnson may as well have stayed on his third holiday since July. Well, if we're to believe the BBC's Sky News, BBC's Chris Mason, he has the 100. So, whilst there may be 51 declared at this minute,
yeah,
the BBC, Sky are all reporting he has his 100. Someone here says poo or earwax for dinner. Poo or earwax for dinner. This is what the choice is akin to. Here we go. Keir Starmer, get Labour in. Do they not understand what happens if Keir Starmer, right? They've all got very, very short selective memories. Now, we know the reason the economy is absolutely destroyed is because of the restrictions that cause the economy to go down the hole and for them to print billions and billions in funny money. So, let's give the economy, control of the economy, to people who wanted to do it worse! I don't understand! I don't understand how people can be so willfully stupid. Now, am I saying it's a good thing to give this, to either of these two? No! But what's the alternative? What's the alternative? We need a new system. One that bars these sycophants and people like them from ever holding office.
You're right. That's exactly what we need, Ben. Exactly what we need.
Yeah. And you know what? I would love for hundreds and thousands of people to be hearing these words, be inspired by these words, and go out and try and be the change that we all want to see, because I can't make that system alone, John. We can't. Me and you can't do it.
No, we can't. We can propose it, we can evangelise it, but ultimately we are hitting tens of people after that.
What we want to see is your life as a regular person slogging 9 to 5 get infinitely better. But with these sycophants, with these morons, with these self-interest narcissists in charge, your life will never get better because they don't want that for you. They want it for them. Boris Johnson, on his third holiday since July, sunning it up in the Caribbean, can afford to cut it short so he can come back and possibly become Prime Minister again. Tell me, when was the last time you could afford 3 foreign holidays since July and afford to cut one short just because, something's come up?
Never.
Never. But, look at this. I'm inclined to lean towards this. Rick Astley for Prime Minister. He will never give you up. He will never let you down. He will never run around or desert you. He's never ever gonna make you cry. Will never say goodbye. Will never tell a lie or hurt you.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think Rick Astley sounds ideal. And let's face it, ultimately, could he do any worse? Could he really do any worse than any of these two clowns before him? Because let's think about this, and I have harped on about this before, but these people don't really run the country.
Yeah.
They don't make the decisions. All the decisions are pre-made by, the Whitehall, the nameless and faceless Whitehall serfs, the civil servants. They make all the real decisions, and all they do is they brief these clowns, and these clowns go out and deliver it. They're nothing but actors, and really doesn't matter which actor you have, because if the country's going down the tubes, which it is, it's all going that way because that's the way it's been determined to go. Maybe.
Well. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Basically, you could look at the civil servants as the European Commission. They're the people who are unelected, who propose all of the legislation, who do it all, and then you get the idiots in Parliament who, okay, let's vote on this.
Yeah,
Vote.
and this is why you need to change the system, because the system from the smallest part of government to the highest part doesn't work. Small governments, even the smallest part of government, isn't working properly because that's too big as well. I mean, your town that you live in has really no say over what happens in it. It's just everything's too controlled. You need the people that are living there that are able to make decisions and able to effect change in their own lives.
I got a tweet thread that we can have a little look through here, changing the subject a bit. I'll wait for you to see it. Come on. I'll wait for you to see it.
Did he send them to Russia? well, but obviously they're not doing the job. They're not kamikaze drones, are they?
Do you know what? I saw a tweet just a minute ago that said Mark Hamill now has more kills than Alec Baldwin. Someone says here, disturbing. What a hero. He's a good man. He's a good man.
Fucking hell, man.
So far.
Clown, that's about the best one. Clown.
Yeah, may the force be with you. He won't send his offspring out there for some strange reason. Oh, he's sending drones. What's this? I just earned $10 billion last month from working from home. Ask me how.
Yeah.
And how much of that money, when it comes to Ukraine, is going into what they say it's going into for rebuilding, for defense? Or is it all going into little shell companies and little black holes, which Mr. Zelensky here will be able to access quite happily in a few years' time?
I think you know exactly where the money's going.
Yes, we do. We know exactly where the money's going. Now, once again, we have to say it on every fucking show, but it's not that we are here supporting Russia, because we're not. We're just pointing out when people are corrupt, and unfortunately, for the vast majority of world leaders, they are corrupt. The vast majority.
There's probably none more corrupt than Zelensky himself.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a failed actor, for God's sake. I mean, well, he's not a failed actor, but you know what I mean. Like,
well, it's fucking failed in my book.
He's well placed. He's well placed to act like a president. He's done it before.
Mm-hmm.
He done it on TV, didn't he?
Well, it's kind of how he got the job.
Yeah. He acted as the president in a comedy show.
Yeah, and then his billionaire pal saw it and thought, oh, that's actually quite good. We could actually make him. I wonder if we can make him prime minister.
Oh, yeah.
And basically they did.
They did indeed. Right, have you got any Twitter threads for us to have a look through, John?
Not really.
Anybody in the chat? Whilst I look for some more Twitter threads, is there any that piqued your interest? There was one earlier. Here we go. I've got one for you. Now, this video here was put out by Unity News Network. It says they're doctors. They're back dancing again, John.
Yeah.
This time it's for Extinction Rebellion. Would you trust these healthcare professionals? My wife here says they're protesting against reality, so no.
What the fuck are they actually doing?
Well, I could play the video. Let me share my audio with you.
It's just awful.
Hold on, let me share my audio with you. I'll play the video. Music or computer sound only.
It's like watching your granny do the slosh out of time to the music.
Hold on, they've got words. We'll have a listen.
Fossil fuels save money with renewables. Come on, kids, pay the price. Ignoring scientists advice. Leaders should be learning to stop the planet, so we stay alive. Stay alive.
Cut. Right. get them fired straight away, because they're not up to the standard that we had at the beginning of this shit show.
I know, right?
They're no use whatsoever.
None.
Dude, who the fuck put them out there? That's just really poor. I mean, and none of them have got any rhythm.
None.
For God's sake, use black people.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Gary!
What?
Gary! Where's Gary?
Get Gary out there. I bet he's got rhythm.
But no, one of the lines in there just made me absolutely fucking cackle. It's like, we don't want to put kids at risk from ignoring scientific advice, or don't want kids to pay the price from ignoring scientific advice. Kids have paid the price because of scientific advice for the last 2.5 fucking years. Ah!
Shocking.
Oh
shocking.
my God. We're gonna do it. We're gonna brave it to the end. There's another 30 odd seconds of this, John. Let's do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it for the content.
Stay alive, stay alive. Hadn't got a comment to stop nobody stopping, so stay alive, stay alive. We all want to stay alive, stay alive.
Oh, what are these two? What are they doing now? Are they playing? What are they doing?
It's a death. They've died.
Did they die of climate change?
I've no idea. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Oh, we're going to keep going. Hold on. Oh, they're getting the sheets out. They're getting the sheets out.
It's the last post. We're not even playing it very well. This is like the remember when they used to show the deaths and people would get up for a fag and things like that? It's a bit like that. That's awful. That's just awful.
Oh no, look at this comment here, just clown heads.
It's not even funny.
Fascinating. Millions waiting for their services, yet they've got the time for choreography, just like they had the time for it before.
Yeah, but the choreography was very, very poor though.
Someone
What
says,
about that clown Tobias Elwood?
oh yeah, we'll go to that in a minute. I just want to see some of the responses for this. Anyone know what trust this is? Disgraceful, shameful behaviour from these healthcare workers. I'm ashamed. I thought they were supposed to be overwhelmed with patients. This is Amdram. They may be wearing scrubs, but I doubt many, if any, are medics. That is also true. They could be, absolutely none of them could be medics for all we know. It's like the dancing nurses of the NHS.
Well, hold on. If they're not medics, then that is misinformation.
It's coming from Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion. It's all
Yeah, but if they're not medics, that's misinformation.
Yeah, but all they do is spout misinformation, John.
Yes, I know that. But, I mean, they had things like doctor on the front of their scrubs, and then another one had physio and stuff like that. And if they're doing that, then they're misrepresenting themselves. And that's misinformation, and Twitter should take that down immediately.
So you want to look at this tweet from Tobias Elwood?
Not really, but... I mean, he deleted the good one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Have we got a copy of it?
Yeah, I think so. I've got a copy on my phone, yeah.
Okay, well, I can't see that.
Hold on a minute, hold on.
Oh, yeah, my wife's been on fire on Twitter earlier on today, right? So somebody turned around and asked, somebody turned around and said, women can have a penis, men can have a vagina, and yes, she is a she. This is about the trans comedian that got naked on Channel 4. Yeah? Says, why is it...
That was awful.
I know.
I saw that. That was awful.
But this is in response to somebody calling it misogynistic. So...
How's it misogynistic?
Well, people call it misogynistic because they're saying it's a caricature of a woman. It's basically taking the piss out of women. Now... This Andrew bloke goes on to say, why is it misogynistic? Where have they been derogatory or hateful against people on the basis of them being a woman? It was on after The Watershed. It's known to be progressive and edgy. This was on a show called Friday Night Live. Now, my wife has responded here. You can't really see it on the screen, but she said, how is it any different to blackface?
Well, that's a good question. And did you get a reply?
Of course she didn't. Because you'd have to make them do mental gymnastics in order to try and justify one over the other, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And I think it's the question that everybody, when having this debate with trans ideology extremists, when having this debate with them, the comeback has got to be, how is it any different to blackface?
Indeed. I mean, I just addressed the room soldier. I wasn't really calling for censorship. All I was calling for was a level playing field.
Well, yeah, no.
You know.
Yeah. I think the level playing field should be the other way around, though. The level playing field
I
should
think
be that nobody is censored.
Yeah, I think it should. But you know, if you've got to do one or the other, you can't treat people differently. Oh no, of course you can. What am I saying? Of course you can treat people differently. We've done it for years.
Yeah,
we've always treated people differently. Oh,
yeah.
I'm such an idiot. Shut up, John.
You're fine. You're doing great.
I'm an idiot.
No, John, you're not an idiot. Hundreds of hours of broadcast. Now, okay, before we go, because this was never meant to be a particularly long show. Before we go, I want to put a public plea out to the idiots at Just Stop Oil. We want to talk to you, don't we, John?
Well, you do.
You want to mock? You want to mock them?
Right. So the problem you have whenever you want to try and talk to these, I mean, it's fine talking to them, but the problem you have is they're so entrenched in their mindset that you can't make any kind of argument that's going to make any difference to them, right?
Mm.
So even if you get them on and talk to them, what are you going to achieve? Because all you're going to do is they're going to end up shouting at you and not changing their viewpoint, and you're just going to go, see, they are idiots. But we know that anyway, you know. So the question is, who wins from this exchange?
The content wins, John.
Does it? I don't know if it does. Does it just make everyone look like an idiot?
Maybe, but you know, I want to sit down with them and I want to basically reel off what you reeled off before on the climate show.
Mm-hmm.
And I want their explanation. I want to know how they explain these massive discrepancies in these models.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's face it, every piece of action that they are taking right now is based upon more of these models. So they have to face the reality of the people that provide them these things never being right. They have to face the reality of that.
Yeah.
And they have to explain it.
But do they have to?
Well, considering...
Well, the government hasn't, because the government's done exactly the same thing.
Well,
on 2 occasions over the last 2 years. It's done it for one thing, and it's now doing it for climate change. So why does anyone have to be held to account? Because no one ever is.
Well, yeah, when it comes to a government, that's one thing. But when it comes to a private group of mental people who have now led directly because of one action on the Dartford Bridge to 2 people's death.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. But how many people have the government killed?
Oh, absolutely. But we can't expect them to be held to account, unfortunately.
But it's more important they are held to account.
I agree with you, but how are we meant to get there when we're such quiet voices?
Then maybe it's not the time to speak.
It's always the time to speak, my friend. Because if you don't speak, how can your voice ever be heard?
Well, maybe it's not the time to speak. Maybe it's the time for actions.
And with that, John, close the show.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me. And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience to talk. Good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system. You forgot Uranus. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work to.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.